Because you only finished middle school, you ended up in such a low-end job, right? Well, no. Poor thing. Why are you here, Samantha? I came here for an interview. I'm currently working in an IT company, but I want to advance my career. Career advancement. Yes. I graduated from Harvard University and got a decent job, but I wanted to do more. I really resonated with the company values here, but I guess you wouldn't understand. Talking about IT stuff to a janitor like you, dressed in work clothes, would be totally over your head. Do you clean hair every day? The woman looking down on me suddenly had an expression I had never seen before. The story goes back to when I was a middle school student. My name is Michael Johnson. I was born into an ordinary family with a father, a mother, and a younger brother. I loved my family, was fairly good at studies, excelled in the soccer team, and had a fun middle school life. I was relatively popular among friends, and bullying was something I was never involved in. Going to school every day was fun, and I loved spending time at home because my family got along well. Even though my life seemed smooth sailing, there was one thing that didn't go well. It was about Samantha. Samantha was beautiful, smart, and athletic. At first, I even thought I liked her. In a romantic sense. Since Samantha and I were always competing for the top ranks in our grades, I felt a sense of camaraderie, and besides, she was beautiful, so I couldn't help but follow her with my eyes. Yet, Samantha disliked me. Despite getting along with almost everyone else, Samantha was the only one who seemed to detest me. The first time I realized this was during a seat change. We were just fresh into middle school, and the seats determined by a lottery put Samantha and me one behind the other. Samantha was in front, and I was behind. I was happy, thinking I got a chance to talk to the beautiful Samantha. The first time we spoke was when Samantha passed a handout back to me. Thanks, Samantha, you're surprisingly tall. What do you mean surprisingly? No, you're so slim, so you don't look that tall from a distance. Oh, really? That was so cold, and kind of rude, was my first impression. Despite her beauty, it was a bit disappointing. There were a few more occasions to talk after that, but she was just as unfriendly then. For example, when Samantha and I scored the top marks in a test, Mr. Miller said something like this. This time, Samantha is second and Michael is first. It's great to have both the top students in this class. You two should make the most of this fortunate environment. Come on, Mr. Miller, you should be teaching us properly, right, Samantha? Just because you're in first place, you're so full of yourself. I won't lose next time. I tried to talk to Samantha with a sense of camaraderie, but she seemed to see me as an adversary. When we were both chosen as class representatives because we were smart, she would never go to the committee meetings with me. And when we had to work together, she was distant in a way you wouldn't expect from classmates. It made me wonder if she disliked being with me that much. The decisive moment was when I accidentally overheard a conversation among the girls. Hey, don't you think Michael is cool? Yeah, I get it. He seems like he can do anything, kind of like a hero from comic book. Is everyone aiming for him? The competition is too fierce for me, but Samantha could be a match, right? True. The only one who matches him would be Samantha. Samantha is definitely the most popular girl among us. Michael sometimes looks at her, doesn't he? So, what do you think, Samantha? Is he an option? What are you talking about? Me, with Michael? Impossible. I don't get why he's popular at all. Really? That's surprising. Yeah. The only high-spec guy who could match Samantha would be Michael, right? Stop it, please. So, I'm really out of the question, huh? Hearing Samantha outright dismiss me like that was a shock. I had no idea why she disliked me so much, but Samantha continued to avoid me and was always cold towards me. My middle school life, where everything but my relationship with Samantha was going well, changed drastically in my third year. My father was in a traffic accident. He hovered between life and death but managed to survive, though he was so badly injured that he couldn't continue his previous job. My mother, who had been a homemaker, started working part-time as a result. My father's long rehabilitation journey began, and our family finances gradually became tighter. Although I was in my third year of middle school and facing exams, I started to consider giving up on high school. It wasn't just because of our financial difficulties, but also because of my younger brother. He loved playing with computers and had a dream of becoming an engineer, even though he was still young. To make his dream come true, he needed to go to university. If I gave up on high school and started working right after middle school, maybe I could support my brother's education. Once I started thinking this way, my decision was made. After my father's accident, when my mother started working part-time, I began a newspaper delivery job. A kind gentleman there offered to introduce me to a cleaning company run by an acquaintance, so I decided to work there after graduating from middle school. When I told my parents, they strongly opposed. They argued that I should at least finish high school, perhaps with a scholarship, before finding a job, especially since I had good grades and they really wanted me to go to university. Eventually, my parents even apologized to me, saying, "We're sorry for putting you in this situation." At that time, I didn't consider my circumstances unfortunate. I had purely decided to do what I could for my beloved family, so in a way, it was what I wanted. After convincing my parents, I started working at the cleaning company. It was tougher than I had imagined at first. I had naively thought that cleaning would be something I could handle, even with just a middle school education, but I was wrong. Working in society was not easy. It was different from my part-time newspaper delivery job. But because the people at the cleaning company were so kind, I was able to learn the job properly and continue working. A lot of time has passed since then. I'm still working in building maintenance. The entrance to the building prominently displayed a sign for interview venue. Today, the company that owns this building was scheduled to conduct mid-career interviews, and one after another, people in suits entered through the automatic doors. As I was wiping the windows of my work clothes, I spotted a familiar face among them. It was nostalgic. The only classmate who disliked me back in middle school, Samantha. She had become significantly more beautiful as an adult, but her features were unmistakable, and I recognized her at a glance. I wondered if she would notice me as I continued to wipe the windows. Then, Samantha approached me and said, "Michael." "Oh, Samantha, long time no see. Because you only finished middle school, you ended up in such a low-end job, right?" "Well, no, poor thing." Why are you here, Samantha?" "I came here for an interview. I'm currently working in an IT company, but I want to advance my career." "Career advancement?" "Yes. I graduated from a prestigious university and got a decent job, but I wanted to do more. I really resonated with the company values here, but I guess you wouldn't understand. Talking about IT stuff to a janitor like you, dressed in work clothes, would be totally over your head. Do you clean here every day?" "Well, Just as I was about to respond, a woman in a suit hurried over to us. "President Johnson." "What?" Samantha's eyes widened in surprise as she looked at me. I had never seen such an expression from her during our middle school days. "Mr. Johnson, you're cleaning hair again, I see. So you, who came for the interview today, Samantha, was it? You can leave now. It's unacceptable to show such disrespect to our president." "President? Well, sorry about that, Samantha. I didn't mean to deceive you, but I'm the president of this company." "What do you mean?" "While working at the cleaning company, I also earned my high school and university degrees. I climbed the ranks within the cleaning company, got involved in management, and my skills led me to become the president. In the process, I found something I wanted to do and started another company. I gathered talented engineers to develop cleaning equipment and robots. When I started the business, I approached my brother, who had become a skilled engineer, to join me. The products developed by this company became huge hits, rapidly gaining recognition. Although I'm the president, I'm not comfortable in the limelight, so I left media interviews to my vice president brother, leading many to mistake him for the president. I suppose Samantha was also under that impression. After I explained everything, Samantha looked astonished. "So, that was it. But why are you cleaning hair dressed like that?" "Oh, I wanted to test a new product we made, and I thought it'd be nice to watch the interviewees coming in today, so I decided to multitask." "I see. That's so like you, Michael." Samantha seemed convinced in a strange way. The woman in the suit, my secretary Lucy, continued. "Mr. Johnson, we can send her away without question, right? Someone who looks down on others with such arrogance doesn't belong in our company." Now, the first interview hasn't even started yet, so let's just proceed with it normally. She graduated from Harvard University, and she's genuinely interested in our company's philosophy and has things she wants to achieve by joining us. But Mr. Johnson, let's keep what happened here between us. I want the interviewers to assess her based on a fair perspective. If they deem her a valuable asset to our company, I intend to hire her." "Understood." Although Lucy seemed reluctant, she agreed. Samantha then headed towards the interview location. Later, I met Samantha again. Indeed, Samantha had passed our company's selection process. Among many applicants, she earned her place. I thought to myself, just as I expected. Throughout middle school, I had seen Samantha's efforts firsthand. Before tests, she would go to the local library alone and study from morning till evening, and I often saw her practicing her club activities alone. Despite achieving good results, she never boasted in front of others or looked down on anyone. She got along very well with other classmates, so I knew she wasn't an arrogant person. Probably, I did something to offend her and ended up being disliked. After greeting the new employees as their president, Samantha stopped me. "Mr. Johnson, Samantha, congratulations on joining us. Could I have a moment of your time later?" "Yeah, sure." When I met with Samantha later, she apologized sincerely for her behavior the other day. "I'm truly sorry for my behavior that day." "Oh, no, it's fine. And you don't need to be so formal with me when it's just the two of us. You can treat me as a classmate, just like before." "I can do that." "You're still as serious as ever. I've been thinking, were you okay with joining a company run by me, whom you greatly disliked? I mean, we did go through with the interview, but knowing I was the president must have been somewhat unpleasant for you, and I thought you might even decide to withdraw from the interview process." "What? Dislike? Yeah, you've disliked me since middle school, haven't you?" "No, that's not it at all." "What? It's the opposite. I liked you, Michael, and because I liked you, I couldn't speak properly. I couldn't be myself around you. Really. I was too embarrassed. I really wanted to talk more with you, Michael, and become friends, but the more I thought about it, the more distant my behavior became. I never imagined you thought I disliked you." "What? It totally seemed like you disliked me. I was so worried about what I might have done." "Well, I'm sorry." No, it's all good." At this moment, our misunderstanding was finally cleared up. Curious, I asked Samantha when and why she started liking me. It turns out, before we started middle school, Samantha was being harassed by an older boy during a holiday. He was demanding her contact information and wouldn't let her leave without it, grabbing her and not letting go. Apparently, I happened to pass by and intervened to help her. Back then, driven by a strong sense of justice, I often stepped in to help classmates in trouble, so honestly, I didn't remember that particular incident very well, but for Samantha, that was the moment she fell for me. To her, I was like a hero. So, that's what happened. To think I hated you, but with my attitude back then, it's understandable why you'd think that. I'm sorry. No, I'm the one who misunderstood, thinking you hated me, but I'm glad that wasn't the case. I never imagined that after all this time, Samantha and I would reconcile and even become friends. For a while, Samantha and I didn't interact directly. My work became increasingly demanding, and I was swamped every day. Samantha was also busy learning various aspects of her new job. Occasionally, I'd hear phrases like that new mid-career hire is amazing, so I knew Samantha was quickly making her mark in the company. And then, on the day it was decided to launch a new project, Samantha's name came up during the executive meeting about the project team members. I think she's a great fit. She's new, but she's really capable. The executives, unaware that Samantha and I were classmates, explained how talented she was. I agreed to appoint Samantha as a project leader. My brother, with a sly grin, also agreed. I had confided in my brother about Samantha, and his continued smirking made me slightly regret sharing. This project was the biggest yet, so I often received progress updates and offered advice. Naturally, as the project leader, Samantha was the one reporting to me. Initially, our interactions were purely professional. That concludes this report. Thank you. Let me know if anything comes up. Will do. However, as we met more frequently, we started exchanging a few more words, and eventually, we even made small talk. Good to hear things are going smoothly. Yes, thanks to everyone's competence. Hey, Samantha, have you had lunch yet? Not yet. How about we go to this amazing Chinese place I know? I thought you'd be into more fancy or upscale dining. What are you talking about? The fried rice and dumplings there are the best. I go there 3 times a week. Then, I'll happily accept the treat. And just like that, we started having meals together. Samantha became someone I could rely on at work and enjoy talking to. Finally, the project was a success. Thanks to Samantha's leadership, the project proceeded smoothly and significantly boosted our company's revenue. To celebrate this success, a team dinner was organized. The party was a blast, and despite the insistence of my colleagues, I joined the after party, which was rare for me. When there were calls for a third round, I politely declined, and Samantha, having led the team, also gracefully excused herself, saying, "I'll be heading home now." While some lamented the leader's departure, Samantha smiled apologetically and waved goodbye to everyone. I felt nostalgic, remembering how Samantha had always been kind and friendly to everyone but me. Seizing the opportunity as she was leaving, I called out to her. "Samantha, since you're heading home, how about we go together?" "Yes." Nobody is around anymore, so it's fine to interact as classmates. Though, I don't mind if you keep up your assertive attitude at the company. I can act like that towards the president. Besides, I never wanted to be that way. I see. The old be mean to the ones you like tactic, right? Hey, don't get carried away. Sorry. By the way, Michael, why did you start working right after middle school? I always thought you would go to the same high school as me. After all, your grades were good. Well, for the first time, I shared with Samantha why I decided to work after middle school and what had happened to my family. Samantha listened intently, nodding along as I spoke. It must have been tough for you. Well, it was at first, but now, being a president and having to pay salaries to so many employees, it's a different kind of challenge. I guess there's always something challenging, no matter the time. Michael, you're amazing. That hasn't changed. You have this enlightened outlook, which I've always found really cool. Really? Even though you said you liked me back then. How about now? What? I like you, Samantha. I had fallen for Samantha. Actually, I think I probably liked her even back in middle school. I had given up, thinking she disliked me. When I confessed, Samantha nodded and said, "Me too." And so, after decades, our feelings aligned and we began dating. Back then, I wasn't sure how things would turn out, but now, I'm happy. I enjoy my work, have time with the person I love, and feel fulfilled. It's great to have a competitive environment with my brother. My father has become much more active after his rehabilitation, and I can provide enough support to ease my mother's burden. People make mistakes and sometimes make the wrong choices. Life can throw unexpected events at us, but we can always start over, no matter how many times it takes. I want to approach everything with an open heart and move forward with a positive attitude. That's what I learned from my life. When something happens, rather than getting emotional, I wish people would take a moment to accept things as they are. Because things might just turn around for the better.